Hello Pisces, and welcome to your monthly horoscope for January for the Sun or the Ascendant. Now what I'm going to do is give you a broad overview of what you can expect. Then please stay with me. I will dive deep in forensic detail to explain the key dates, the key influences that are going to impact on the month ahead. Now on the screen now you can see your chart wheel for the start of this month, and the most critical feature is that your ruling planet Jupiter, the planet of growth, has returned to your sign. It actually arrived on the last 3 days of last year, but this is really super. It is in a square with the North Node as we start this new year. I think this just means that when it comes to your own individual hopes and desires and the things you're enthusiastic about, it's important you don't overpromise. Jupiter is a big influence. It's generous. It's expansive. So it's exciting. But it's also important to keep one foot on terra firma. Now your other ruler is Neptune, and that is also in your sign, but that's forging a quite magical link to Venus. Venus may still be retracing its steps, but it's in your 11th house of friendship. In fact, your friendship sector is really strong this month. There's lots of connections going on that are helpful to you. Not least that you do also have the Moon and Mars in the sign of Sagittarius. The 10th house for you is going to give you more confidence to raise your profile, to find your voice. And because the 10th house is also to do with work and how we interact with others, but you have all that energy in Capricorn, I think it can be a case of who as much as what you know. So important connections can come back to you positively this month. That just gives you a flavour. There's far more to tell you about. But if you are new to my channel, I would be honoured if you would subscribe. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. Every time I spring a video, you'll get an alert. And finally, if you've yet to get your year 2022 personal forecast, you can do so now at the end of 21 and get the rest of that year free. Or you can order anytime in January, and I will produce 12 months and the time of your order, plus a character analysis and 30% off. Now, important, because this is based on your time, date and place of birth, so it does ascend above this Zodiac broadcast. So please see the link beneath this video. Hello Pisces, and welcome to your monthly horoscope for January. So this month, as we begin, Neptune and Jupiter, your two rulers, are really buzzing with vibrancy. Jupiter's back in your sign. That gives you a sense of purpose, extra confidence, but it is going to move into Aries later this year before coming back to your sign, so it can be good for your bank balance too. But Neptune is linking beautifully with the retreating Venus. Maybe there's going to be a connection to a friend or someone in your group situation who is going to become much more influential to you. With the North Node arriving in your 3rd house of everyday communication on the 18th, the last year and a half, which has been very much dominated by where you live, how you live there, and perhaps there's been part of you that's want to cocoon yourself away, particularly with Saturn making its way through your 12th house. I feel there's a pushback against that. The North Node sees you wanting to connect more, and that can be very, very healthy. But the Sun, of course, always in the sign of Capricorn at the start of the year, is angling brilliantly to the electric energies of Uranus, which has really been inspiring you around technology, apps, thinking outside the box in very imaginative and creative ways. It's probably also been over-arousing your nervous system at times in its square with Saturn. So if you have felt a little bit of a psychological burden at times in the last year, it wouldn't be a surprise. Worry is something that we all can have from time to time. If you can manage your concerns as logically as possible, that's a good thing to do this month, because there's a lot of good things happening for you. Not least that on the 2nd there's the new moon, which connects the new moon in Capricorn to Uranus in your 3rd house. So friends who are different, a bit challenging, quirky, maybe people who are prepared to walk their own path, they can be very attractive to you over the next month, or some very foresighted ideas that you've got can really gain currency with the people you share them with. But because Mars is right at the top of your chart as you burst into 22, you have extra authority, extra ability to convey your ideas with greater conviction. Now, Mars moves on the 24th into your sector of friendship and kinship, into the sign of Capricorn, where it's blessed, it's exalted here, and that's going to help you to collaborate with people and find a nice balance between your individual needs and how you connect to those other people. But before then, it really is imbuing in you an extra stridency, which can be very, very positive. Now, Venus retrograde, what does it mean? It could mean that you're going to rethink some friendships in your situation, and it does actually forge in the last 2 weeks of this month a glorious link with Uranus. So there can be surprise connections, surprise reunions. Perhaps you're going to hear from someone you're not expecting to, or suddenly get the desire just in the blink of an eye to reach out to someone you haven't spoken to for a while. Now, Mercury is the planet of communication, and right at the end of last year was in shadow and is in shadow day 1 of this year, but then it moves on the 2nd into Aquarius. This is a more introverted transit, particularly from the 14th when it goes retrograde, but by the 24th it's parked itself back in the sign of Capricorn. Maybe is connecting with someone or thinking about connecting with someone where there are some delicacies involved will be a bit of a challenge to go through, but I think there are real opportunities as well. Uranus is the planet of truth, as well as in mythology the planet of the sky. It governs astrology, so the 3rd house is about quick thinking, but having Mercury in retrograde and Saturn in your 12th house could bring about that more wary side of your nature. But you know, with such a lot of energy in the 11th, including from the start of week 3, the emergence of the Sun moving on to Pluto can really transform some of your longer term plans. And in that transformational link, there could be some friendships that are refreshed, renewed. Some may make way, as is the case with Pluto, but there is a chance to think long term in a very dynamic way. Now, by the 17th, there is a full moon in the sign of Cancer, your sister water sign. Balancing what you want as an individual, the 5th house, with the collective, the 11th house, there's a pivot point to find the right balance. I think that you could get very caught up in group activities with Pluto and the Sun together, or maybe you're in a romantic relationship and you don't see it having a massively long-term future, and the fact that Mercury and the Sun and Saturn at this stage are in your 12th house, maybe that's you coming to a conclusion that there needs to be a separation. If that's the case, I think the Sun moving into Aquarius on the 20th can see you needing to just withdraw a little bit. However much fun, however active it's been on the work front, and it can be very active on the work front this month, needing a bit more space to yourself is possible in the last 10 days of this month. But there can still be opportunities to venture out, perhaps with those people you feel a real sense of kinship with and a great trust. I'd certainly avoid fair weather friends in the second half of this month with Mercury retrograde and the Sun moving into Aquarius too. But on the 24th, Mars moving into the 11th house is terrific. Mars loves being in Capricorn. It's going to be there for 6 weeks, so really can see you making great progress. The 29th, Venus goes direct, but remember it's forging that gorgeous link to Uranus for the 2 weeks before. So this is a month that is rich in promise for you. It really can help you to see into your future, do well at work. There are some psychological strands to deal with, but the North Node moving into your 3rd house is something you're really, really going to appreciate this month and beyond. Thank you for joining me. All the best for 2022 and goodbye.